Chapter 10, Water and Blood. They sank together until Sen lifted them both to the surface. Stand up! Stand up! Feet down, Sen commanded. The water was only to his chest, but his heart pounded from the seconds they were submerged and making no effort to come up. He found Drei's crown of red hair and grabbed it, pulling her face out. She coughed, spat, and cried out, "I have her!" With no small effort, Drei and Sen pulled Rohma to the bank, breathing steady, but her eyes far off and cold. "Drei, you're bleeding again." Sen pulled her arm away from Rohma. "Sen, I can't let her go. She isn't safe. She isn't through it." Drei yanked her hand back and pressed it to Rohma's cheek. She laid down on top of her, holding her face with both hands, and wept. "Don't go." Under her rested her best friend, the ghost of Zahara, and everything that wasn't supposed to happen. Rohma spun in the dark on a raft. She blinked. She remembered being the widow, but that seemed so far away now. Stars were wheeling above her, spinning while she held still. She knew that the raft was a lifetime from shore. The ocean was thick and stunk of copper. The fluid lapped the raft like a tongue. It was blood, and it was as natural to her at that moment as breathing. This strange world was all there was, and all that would ever be. Deep in the fluid, something moved. Something great that would pull her into itself. A thing greater than death. Sen paced the bank, watching the water, then moved back to the girls. He saw Drei shivering and curled up next to them both, holding Rohma's head to his chest and a hand on Drei's shoulder. Drei wrapped her hand around his arm. "I can't bring her back. Please, help me." "Come on, Rohma. Come back," he whispered gently. His thumb caressed her cheek. Rohma got to her hands and knees on the raft. She was looking down into the dense fluid. She couldn't see through it, but there was something there. It disgusted her and terrified her. Something cool splashed onto her cheek, and she looked across the surface of the water. She saw it, a fire in the distance, glowing brightly. Land, a beach, a fire, hope. Rohma blinked and cried out. The stars were above, but they held steady. She could smell the lake mud under her. Sen's thumb caressed her cheek. They remained in the mud, breathless and spent, clutching each other like castaways. When Rohma was finally able to speak, she seemed clear-headed. It wasn't the widow's clan. The marriage was sanctioned on her side. They had accepted him. His plan would have worked. It was Joom. She saw him do it. Moreover, she heard why. Rohma held Drei's hand. "How?" Drei whispered. "After the wedding. Tjevan brought her home. They kissed goodbye, and he sent me, home. But she turned around and came back for a chance for another kiss." Drei nodded, listening. Sen frowned. The mistake wasn't lost on him. "She saw Joom kill him. Hoya was there right after. They argued. Hoya said it was impulsive and that Joom's obsession with women would destroy the guild. She was terrified. She didn't know who they were talking about. She just knew Joom saw Tjevan as a rival for the woman he wanted. She thought it was her. She told no one because she believed that somehow she brought this evil onto Tjevan. But it was me," Drei frowned. "So we have a witness. We just need to help her admit what she saw." Sen shook his head, unbelieving. Drei felt a deep sense of relief. Finally, something she could do. "I have to talk to her. Explain to her that Joom killed Tjevan for me. She deserves to know that she had nothing to do with it. And perhaps she can bring evidence against him to the Imperial clerk." Sen got up first. "Okay, let's go back to Akawan Pavilion and talk to her. Like we should have done in the first place," he murmured under his breath. Rohma felt renewed, strengthened. Looking back at the water, a chill flowed from her. Something remained, moving in the depths. No, I don't think she would have ever willingly told us what she saw. Let's go. The way back to the pavilion was much slower than their mad run to the pond. Drei's shoulder leaked blood as they walked, and they all shivered in wet clothes with every gust of wind. Drei was steadily growing paler, even though she was determined to move forward. Drei, you need to get that stitched, Sen pulled at her. Rohma looked at the wound. Sen's right. I'll go. I'll keep an eye on her. I promise not to do anything. They won't even let me close like this anyway. Drei nodded. She wanted to talk to the girl now, but she had to wait. Who would let 3 soaked, mud-covered strangers crash a wake? All right, I'll get cleaned up, and a stitch or 2. I'll be fast. Drei hugged Rohma, and then she and Sen went towards Tasos' camp. Rohma continued, moving a bit faster. A strange sense of urgency pushed her, like a calling. At the pavilion, people moved out, some hysterical. Next to Tievan, a second body was laid out. His young widow. I don't understand, Rohma declared out loud, to no one in particular. She is choosing to follow him into death, someone nearby offered. It was an elderly woman, clothed in the finest white gown. One so old it had gone cream-colored. What do you mean? Rohma asked, stepping towards her. It happens sometimes when a husband dies. The wife wilts. She gives in to the grief. Sometimes it takes years. For our poor Aya, hours. She was mourning at his feet and fell. Rohma walked into the pavilion, pulled by the silent body of Aya. She touched the girl's face with her cold hands and felt warmth. She's alive. The old woman had followed her. Barely, she whispered. She is my granddaughter. I am Yashira. I did this, Rohma whispered, tears forming. Yashira tilted her head in consider. What is taken can be given back. Her hand rested on Rohma's. She might not want it. Rohma looked up at her, stunned. I wanted to give her peace. I saw. And I have been waiting for you to return. The old woman stepped close and looked deep into Rohma's eyes. With my granddaughter. Rohma stuttered. Something was just under the water. Help me. I can. Yashira held Rohma's hand. You have some training. I can see that. I can help you, but you must do exactly as I say. First, where is Aya? Rohma felt a string of fear. I think she's in the water. Yashira nodded. Yes. She closed her eyes, and her hand went over Aya's heart. Take me to her, Rohma. Rohma watched women surround them, facing out like a wall. Focus on me, Rohma. Take me to her before she is lost. Yashira squeezed Rohma's hand. Rohma relaxed. She went to the raft, the whirling stars. The old woman sat on the raft next to her. The water was water this time. It should have seemed odd, but it didn't. No matter how odd this place was, it always felt right. Where is my granddaughter? Yashira asked. Rohma leaned over the raft. In the water. She's moving in the water. Reach down to her, Yashira instructed. Rohma's hand hovered over the surface of the water, but she froze. It frightened her. I can't. You must. You put her there. She will die. Yashira was patient and supportive. Her comfort rippled through Rohma gently. You can do this. Rohma dipped her fingers into the water. June was grumbling when he reached the Sano family vestry. Zahira's death gnawed at him. Drei's avoidance stung. That strange little friend of hers, infuriating. A candle was lit in the back. If he was lucky, Fatia would be there. Some things had worked to his advantage today. At least Zahira had hurt Drei like he asked. Most of the tailors had retired, and Fatia sat behind a desk in the main garment room, doing the last day's calculations by candlelight. "My Lord Jum, we do not have your style," Fatia said flatly, barely glancing up. "I'm not here for your services. Rather, to offer my services." Jum bowed slightly. "I doubt that you have anything I require. This is a vestuary. I do not kill for my products. I make them," Fatia stated coolly, placing her pin in its holder. "I am a guildmaster, Lady Merchant. I can offer much." Jum remained pleasant, resenting the disdain the woman gave. "What is your business?" Fatia sighed, worn. "You know that I have an affection for your daughter," Jum began. "For her youth, no doubt." "Do you know the girl?" Fatia interrupted. "She's at the beginning of her prime. That kind of spirit, it shapes a legacy. I know your daughter better than you might think." Jum stood across from her desk now. She had to look directly up to see his face. "Better than I? What are you implying?" Fatia was about to stand, outraged, but the man leaned over her slightly. She felt pinned. "Are you aware that she killed one of my soldiers in competition today?" Jum smiled sadly. "I don't believe it," Fatia answered. Her mind went from one shock to another. She almost wished Drei had the poor judgment of letting this man bed her. "She did." Jum gave her some room, stepping back from the desk. He continued, "My soldier, perhaps carried away, stabbed your daughter in the arm. Your daughter stabbed her through the neck." Fatia covered her mouth. Her eyes widened. "I don't blame your daughter. Nor should you. Sano is not responsible for your loss." Fatia felt sick. She couldn't protect Drei, but she would protect this clan. "Zahara was a commodity," Jum admitted, "but my guild understands the risks of armed competition." He dragged a stool up beside her. "But will the merchant guilds? How will you marry off a blooded mercenary?" "She has offers," Fatia lied. "Does she? I heard about Tavon." Jum leaned back and let the room make quiet noises. Let Fatia think. Then he continued, "It's sad. What a guild will do to keep a good fighter. A paycheck, really. Doesn't your husband pay for Drei's training? Wouldn't it be wasted if she married and forfeited her contract?" Fatia nodded slowly, shock turning into understanding, melting into fear. It resonated with her. The Tasos Guild was poor, and she didn't understand what her husband saw in it. That was before, but he hadn't spoken since he took ill. Fatia met his eyes, considering slowly. "Her life with you will be filled with joy?" "I doubt that." "I'm a blunt man, Fatia. Let me be blunt with you. Your daughter will be unbothered me, except for the occasional wifely duties for the production of children. I would like 3. That is all. Other than that, she can live happily, completely unbothered by me." "How very transactional." Fatia frowned. The man was coarse, but it oddly made him feel more honest. Almost as if he didn't know it would be better to lie. "Let me help you," Jum said softly. "I'm not angry. I know what you said about me when you had the power to refuse." Fatia glanced at him, almost embarrassed. Jum continued, his eyes soft with kindness. "But I understand. I'm older, but I am powerful. I like your girl. She's strong-willed, so much like young Zara was. She will be safe, wed to me, most of her time with you." But the contract, if they killed once already, Fatia found herself reaching for excuses, but the memory of her daughter's bruised face kept pulling them from her mind. Jim smiled slowly, almost handsomely. Let me handle Tasos. Only promise me the authority to take Drai's hand. Guilds are used to merchant children leaving once it stops being training in fairground tournaments. No merchant or high guild wants their children actually marching off to fight in some local skirmish. Cade knows this, but he may need some convincing. Jay is the jewel of Tasos Guild, but I can make him see that holding on to her will cost more than letting her go. He reached out for her hand. Fatia met his eyes, then snatched his hand midair. When she started this, when her father gave her permission, he promised me it would fade. He told me that she would grow out of this before she was hurt. Now, she's a killer. How much longer until she is the one dead on the arena floor? Fatia nodded almost to herself. Please, save her, Fatia pleaded.